His Excellency Muhammad Mustafizur Rahman, High Commissioner of Bangladesh, Shri MP Bezbarua, Srimati Smita Pant, Joint Secretary, Bangladesh and Myanmar, MEA, Mr. Sabya Sache Datta, Executive Director, Asian Conference, distinguished speakers, distinguished panelists, excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, friends. It gives me great pleasure to take part in today's event organized by Asian Confluence, which releases the study report entitled Assessing Connectivity Between Northeast India and Bangladesh towards a prosperous Bay of Bengal region. This year is the year when Japan pushed forward to a new stage its cooperation with India regarding Northeast India. Prime Minister Kishida visited Delhi in March this year, and he gave an address on the new plans for free and open Indo-Pacific. In his new plan, he clearly articulated that industrial value chain which connects India's northeast with Bangladesh as one of the major pillars in his new plan for FOIP. Now, this industrial value chain concept is something different from the connectivity that so many of us have been talking about, because this industrial value chain adds industry and investment. So these are the new perspectives which are added to connectivity. Hence, the concept of industrial value chain is a more developed, further developed concept, building on the connectivity by adding industry and investment. Now, Japan has been making much contributions to the development of India's northeast, centering on infrastructure development ever since the second Abe administration started back in 2012. JICA has been conducting a major project since 2017 on the improvement of connectivity. This project is called Northeast Road Network Connectivity Improvement Project. I'll give you one example. There is a project to construct a major bridge which will connect Assam's Dhubri, can you see that on the map? Dhubri to the Pulbari in Meghalaya. As of today, if you want to go back and forth between Dhubri and Pulbari, if you take ferry, it takes 2.5 hours one way. If you take the road, it takes more than 8 hours. But when JICA completes this major bridge in 2028, it will reduce the time needed down to just 20 minutes. There will be a drastic time cut. And this bridge will become the longest bridge over river in India. So this is a kind of work that JICA is now doing in India's northeast. I had an opportunity to visit Tripura back in April, and at that time I had a site visit to see another road project that JICA is conducting. This is a project to connect, within Tripura, connect Kwai and Kailahashal. And the road was almost complete. Now JICA is advancing its work into phase 6, which is scheduled to be completed in 2025. And when this phase 6 is complete, this will connect the road all the way down to Sabru. I hope you can see that in the map. Sabru. So this JICA's connectivity improvement project not only improves connectivity within India's northeast, but it dramatically improves access to Bangladesh. Now, of course, right to the south of India's northeast is Bangladesh. Bangladesh has a population of 170 million people, and as of last year, there are 338 Japanese companies investing and operating on the ground in Bangladesh. And Bangladesh has achieved about 7% annual growth, which is amazing because the main theme for the Davos conference this year was the recession is coming. So by comparison, 7% growth is remarkable. This is roughly on a par with India's remarkable growth as well. Now, in Bangladesh, Japan has been strongly supporting what we call Bay of Bengal Industrial Growth Belt, which is a flagship project that Japan is promoting with Bangladesh. We call it Big B for short, but this Big B is in Bangladesh and not the famous Indian Bollywood actor. But please remember, there is another Big B that JICA is conducting in Bangladesh. Now, among many projects in Big B, the flagship project in Bangladesh is the construction of Matabali deep sea port. When it is complete, this Matabali deep sea port will become the only deep sea port in the Bay of Bengal area, and it will become commercially operational in 2027. JICA is also building roads starting from Dhaka through Chittagong, extending all the way to Matabari. And JICA is building access road from the major road to Matabari seaport. So when this is complete, connectivity will be all developed. So only in 4 years, big container ships can come and go without calling any other port in order to shift the containers to other big ships. And this will be made possible because it is going to be a deep sea port. So in my view, this Matabali deep sea port will be the game changer. And this will be a new big engine to realize the new industrial value chain in the Bay of Bengal area and India's northeast. Bangladesh is slated to graduate from the LDC status in the near future. And with that in mind, Japan has established a joint study with Bangladesh on possible free trade agreement, or we call it economic partnership agreement. Now, when you add Bangladesh with 170 million people, India's northeast and West Bengal, the entire population will surpass 300 million people. This will transcend the 260 million people of all the Mekong's 5 countries combined. So just the population alone, you can see a huge potential that this Bay of Bengal area would provide. Back in April, I had an opportunity to attend an event which my embassy co-hosted with the Asian Conference entitled Third India-Japan Intellectual Conclave. But we talked about so much on connectivity, and there I introduced this concept of new industrial value chain. The timing of this conclave was very opportune because Prime Minister Kishida just visited Delhi back in March, and it was just on the eve of Prime Minister Hasina's visit to Japan. So let me share with you in a nutshell, what I shared with the participants in the conference in Tripura back in April. I explained that India is Japan's top ODA recipient every year, by far. Bangladesh, as of 2021, comes close second. So you can see that JICA is doing so much in India and working so much in India's northeast. At the same time, JICA is doing so much, building roads, ports in Bangladesh as well. What I want to do is connect these two projects to have synergy effects. So far, they have been doing rather independently, focusing on northeast, on the Indian side, focusing in Bangladesh, on the Bangladesh side. But, this area is a natural extension to each other. So it's only natural to conceive this area as one integral part. So, if JICA's projects get connected, we can have more synergy effects. So this is the foundation of the concept of new industrial value chain. Now, Japan has a good track record in creating an industrial value chain. You can see, I'm sorry it's not on that map, but Japan has been leading what is called Southern Economic Corridor in Mekong region, starting from, if you can imagine a map on your mind, starting from Bangkok through Phnom Penh, leading all the way to Ho Chi Minh. So, in my view, this Southern Economic Corridor is the primary example of cross-border value chain that Japan has helped create. So Japan can share our experience with India's northeast and with Bangladesh. The Southern Economic Corridor in Mekong took a couple of decades to create. It is only natural that we cannot create a similar industrial value chain overnight in Northeast and Bangladesh. But I am convinced that with the experience and knowledge that we have in the public sector, in the business community, and in the academia, we can shorten the time that is needed to create a new industrial value chain in the Bay of Bengal area. So this has been the salient points that I shared with the participants in the AAA conference back in April. Now, we've been fortunate that in this forum, high level of participants attended, such as Minister Kishan Reddy, in charge of donor, he's a donor minister. From the Bangladesh side, Minister Khalid Muhammad Chaudhry, shipping minister, among others. And we had Japanese business leaders, we had representatives from the local governments, and of course we had a number of people from the academia. And so across the board, all the participants showed high interest in the concept of creating new industrial value chain. And luckily, the conference was widely reported, not only in India, but also in Bangladesh, and also in Japan. Some of the major newspapers, national newspapers, carried this conference. I myself also chair what's called Act East Forum. This is a government-to-government framework between Japan and India to discuss our joint endeavors on the development of India's Northeast. I co-chair this with Foreign Secretary Quatra, so I intend to follow up on this concept of creating a new industrial value chain in the Act East Forum as well, because so many stakeholders participated in the conference in Tripura. So it is my responsibility to build on that discussion with my talks with Foreign Secretary Quatra. Now, against the backdrop of deepening interest among various stakeholders, my embassy has been in touch with our Japanese embassy in Bangladesh, and we have agreed to conduct a site visit similar to the one you've shown us, and we are aiming at towards the end of September, when we hope to take a number of high-level Japanese business leaders, top business leaders, based in Delhi, and we want to take them not only to Dhaka, but also to go see the Matabali port. Seeing is believing, and what you have shown on the slide, just a mere first look, is very impressive. So we hope to do a similar event in Bangladesh, similar to the event we're holding today, to launch the report. And also we plan to interact with the business community in Dhaka, because Dhaka holds the key. In order for this new industrial value chain concept to succeed, we need new investments and we need to generate new industry. Otherwise, all the roads, bridges that JICA is building so hard, both in Northeast and in Bangladesh, they will be empty. So we need investments and new industries. Now, Japan has been leading the vision of free and open Indo-Pacific, and we share this vision with India and Bangladesh. So it is my ardent wish that India's Northeast, together with Bangladesh, will come to develop and prosper in a free and open way. In closing, I just want to remind you of my key message that Matabali Deep Seaport will be the game changer. It will become commercially operational in 4 years from now. 4 years is just around the corner. So there is a great potential that new industrial value chain will extend from Dhaka to India's northeast. So this is the vision I want to share with you. And at the same time, if you are business leaders, if you have friends in business leaders, please consider India's northeast seriously as a new place to invest. Thank you very much.